Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Life is Strange, a game I absolutely loved back in 2015 and one that has stuck with me through the years. I was curious to see how I would feel about the game replaying it 8 years after release. Jesus Christ, 8 years. I wish I could rewind in real life, but anywho, here we go. In terms of spoilers, most of this video is going to be spoiler free. I'm going to talk about things that happen in the first 10 minutes or so specifically, but then later on we are going to talk about actual spoilers, but I will warn you before that, no need to worry. Turns out, I still love this game. Everything I loved the first time around, I still love this time around. The story is so personal with themes of grief, acceptance, fate and growth, and it sticks to this core of themes throughout the game. There's also the mystery element revolving around Rachel Amber going missing prior to the events of the game. You're immediately wondering what must have happened to this poor girl before you see your best friend from many moons ago get murdered in the toilet. Pretty standard stuff. But then you accidentally rewind time and choose to save Chloe's life, a choice that will set the events of the game in motion. From this point, you reconnect with Chloe, mess around with your time rewind power a little bit, become ingrained in the depressing culture of Arcadia Bay, all the while trying to figure out what happened to Rachel. There's a stark juxtaposition between the beauty of seeing Max and Chloe's relationship being rekindled with the dark undertone that there is a serial killer on the loose. But the story is propped up superbly by a cast of extremely strong characters. Max and Chloe serve as excellent main characters during your adventure, as they act as the perfect foil to one another. Max is reserved and somewhat sensible, whereas Chloe is a bit more of a loose cannon, drove to this point by her honestly really depressing life. But it's not just those two. The depth of the supporting cast is insane. Even smaller characters who don't have a large role, such as Joyce for example, fit perfectly into their role and help to maintain Arcadia Bay feeling like a real place with real problems. Other supporting cast members such as the bitchy Victoria, the troubled Kate, the paranoid David, the entitled Nathan, they all have such depth to them that they allow the story to expand in such a way that everyone has their own thing going on. The characters don't just serve as mere plot devices to advance Chloe and Max's adventure. They have their own stories and arcs to complete simultaneously. One character I wasn't really too keen on though was Warren. He's a character that to me does seem like more of a plot device. His infatuation with Max basically just serves as Max being able to ask him for stuff and he will do it. And watching him just fawn over her every breath is a little bit uncomfortable to watch due to the cringy nature of his covert attempts to win her affection. And this boy is starving for her affection. I mean, just look at his face during this hug. I also can't ignore how cringy quite a lot of the dialogue is in this game. The characters and general story are incredibly strong, but the dialogue does remind me a bit of what adults trying to figure out how young people speak would write, because it's very cringy, and I don't remember anybody speaking like this 8 years ago either.
Sure, I'm awesome. I just want to blaze and be alone for a moment.
It does somewhat add to the charm of the game, but it really doesn't seem like it's done in a self-aware manner. A lot of this does come from Chloe herself, bless her. I love Chloe as a character, and her and Max's friendship is easily the highlight of the game, but if Chloe was a real person in my life, I would find her pretty insufferable. Her problematic nature is the driving force for a lot of the events in the game, and as I touched upon earlier, it's not her fault. The game also wins the award for most awkward headbutt in any video game ever.
Get the fuck out of my face!
I mean, that's just hilarious. The rewind mechanic isn't just something that serves a story purpose, as it's what sets Life is Strange apart from other games within the genre. A lot of the gameplay revolves around speaking to people, learning information, then rewinding and using said information to get what you need and progress the game. It's a cool mechanic overall. You can even go back and make a different choice to the one you made the first time if you aren't happy with the short-term ramifications of your decision. Plus, Max's narration always tricks you and makes you doubt yourself by making a comment after almost any decision, hinting that you probably made the wrong one, regardless of which you pick. From this point onwards, we are going to be discussing heavy spoilers for the game, so if you've not played Life is Strange before, go play it, and then come back. You have now been warned. The game does decide to flip things on its head at one point though in regards to the rewind mechanic. Just as you're accustomed to having the added security of being able to rewind any choice you make, your power then runs out, and you're tasked with convincing Kate not to jump off the roof of the dorms without your power. Meaning, if you say the wrong thing, Kate's gonna hit the concrete. This was a brilliant subversion of expectations, and provides probably the most tense moment in the entire game. Knowing that if you make the wrong choice, Kate is just gone, no rewind, no nothing, it does increase the stakes tenfold. And as for the actual serial killer, playing the game whilst knowing it's Jefferson, there are quite a few signs that it is him, but I don't think it's overly obvious, as they really do everything to ensure you think it's Nathan, who honestly just ends up merely being an easily manipulated victim. Before the Storm really did a lot for his character, because I completely forgot how much of an outright dick he is in this game. The revelation at the end of Chapter 4 still hits hard for me, seeing Chloe just get ended and then looking up to see Jefferson's cold glare. It's still a what the fuck moment, even when you know it's him. He's one of the few people Max thinks she can trust, when he's really just a perverted serial killer. Nice. Now, I do quickly want to speak about the technical state, because I did play the remaster this time around, and there's a few things I want to mention. I don't know what happened with this, but the facial animations often look a bit weird. Like, when Max closes her eyes, it looks like she just has black holes for eyes instead. That's very strange. And I did see quite a few visual glitches as well. I don't know if I recorded any of them, but if I did, then you can see them now. And I don't really remember any of this happening in the original game, although, as I said, that was 8 years ago.
Holy shit.
We all know how frustrating the nightmare section of Chapter 5 is at the best of times, but never mind having to do this whilst also dealing with the plethora of bugs that I did. So, my first time through here, I got stuck on this car. I couldn't move at all, so I decided to load the previous checkpoint, which actually sends you back to the start of this section. Jesus Christ. Then I had this problem where the rewind just wasn't working. I was doing it, but time wasn't going backwards. That was very annoying and also led to another restart. Then at one point, Jefferson's flashlight just didn't work and I walked straight past him. That was also incredibly strange. This whole section just felt like a fever dream. The technical state of this remaster simply isn't good enough. But remaster issues aside, this is still a game that I absolutely love. It's a special game to me personally. Arcadia Bay is a special place to me personally, and Max and Chloe are special characters to me personally. And although it could rub up some people the wrong way, that the game essentially boils down to the choice you make at the end, whichever one you do choose, you're treated to a deeply emotional ending that will stay with you long after the credits have rolled. Even though, if you ask me, there's only one real ending.